Hey guys, welcome back to the BuzWeaver channel, and in our continuing coverage of the Chinese spy balloon from Fox News, China fumes after U.S. pops its balloon, warns of possible responses to clear overreaction. Well, I'm glad we have the Chinese to explain how we are overreacting when they, as you know, if you have been a subscriber to the channel and a viewer for quite some time as we have covered China, we know their MO. They like to prod, they like to poke, they like to intimidate, they like to posture. And then when you call them out or react to something they have done, they want to feign victimhood. Chinese Foreign Ministry on Saturday said it strongly disapproves of and protests the U.S. decision to shoot down a spy balloon that had been in U.S. airspace for the last several days and warned that it may take unspecific responses to that action. Now, we have seen how they reacted to Nancy Pelosi coming to Taiwan and then surrounding the island with live fire drills for several days because they were having a tantrum. And as we described the CCP as being small children throwing tantrums and screaming until they get what they want, and of course they enjoy feigning victimhood, China strongly disapproves of and protests against the U.S. attack on a civilian, unarmed airship by force. Now, we're going to get into that detail here in just a minute. The Foreign Ministry said the Chinese side has, after verification, repeatedly informed the U.S. side of the civilian nature of the airship and conveyed that its entry into the U.S. due to force majeure was totally unexpected. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is exactly what we have talked about when it comes to the cultural differences, the perspectives, the mindset of the Chinese, as though they have this immunity to do things. And then when someone responds to it, they act surprised and coy, as though they have the privilege to do whatever it is they want to do. The Chinese side has clearly asked the U.S. side to properly handle the matter in a calm, professional, and restrained manner, it added. The spokesperson of the U.S. Department of Defense also noted that the balloon does not present a military or physical threat to people on the ground. Now, I thought that was kind of interesting, the way the United States responded to that, because, of course, the Chinese are just kind of baiting in their language to suggest that we're the aggressors, that we're the ones that overreacted to the fact that they violated our airspace. Now, I think it's very interesting that this balloon flew all this distance, and at no time did China think to contact the countries that it flew over and let them know, hey, we have a rogue balloon. We have a balloon that has gone off course. We want to let you know what it is, what it entails, what it's comprised of, and we just want to let you know so that you're not alarmed by it. That never happened. As a matter of fact, now, they keep saying that it is a weather balloon. Now, you guys know that I enjoy and have been watching both Matthew and Winston now for 6 years when they were bloggers out of China. If you guys want to learn more about them, I'm going to put a post to this video down below. China Fact Chasers is just one of many of their channels. But what they point out here in this particular video, or this section of the video, is that China has various areas of no-fly areas or restricted military airspace areas. And they describe how just taking commercial flights can be very difficult because sometimes if they just choose to, they'll say, well, you can't fly over this area right now, so divert. And so this, of course, jams up the whole airline system, and there's just constant delays and cancellation of flights. And they're trying to point out here that the idea of a civilian aircraft or a weather balloon flying over these restricted areas is absolutely absurd. It just doesn't happen. Because if you watch some of their videos from when they were in China, when they flew their drones, they were often approached by police officers. And when they were in Inner Mongolia, simply filming camels, the authorities there had them land the drone, and they disassembled the entire drone. So their point is, now you can see here, right here at the end of this, or the beginning of this line, supposedly this balloon flew through all these sections of restricted airspace, a civilian balloon flying through restricted military airspace in China, which is absolutely absurd to think about. The idea that the Chinese are trying to play this off as a weather balloon is absolutely extraordinary. Now, I want to mention here from for Representative Gallagher, who serves as the chairman for the Select Committee on China, said, the Chinese Communist Party should not have on-demand access to American airspace. Not only is this a violation of American sovereignty, coming only days before Secretary Blinken's trip to the People's Republic, but it also makes clear that the Chinese Communist Party's recent diplomatic overtures do not represent a substantive change in policy. Indeed, this incident demonstrates that the CCP threat is not confined to distant shores. It is here at home, and we must act to counter this threat. Now, if you guys have not seen my previous videos where I go into more details about how these individuals set up police stations in areas like Canada and the United States, use replica vehicles or replica police cars designed to look like police cars in China, go back and watch those videos. I encourage you to watch them because I kind of cover all of this same information and give you an explanation as to why the Chinese often act and behave the way they do, and the way they act in this kind of juvenile, childish way where they poke the bear, and then when the bear takes a swat, they act and feign victimhood. It's absolutely absurd. But nonetheless, that is the current situation that we're in. Of course, the balloon was shot down just off the coast of South Carolina, or there in the Atlantic Ocean, and of course will be recovered and examined. And even if, ladies and gentlemen, it is just a weather balloon, they violated American airspace and want to feign as though it was simply a mistake when they never called Canada, they never called us, they never called the countries. I believe it flew over just under South Korea, and I think it may have flown over Japan. Let me see the flight path here. I can't see it on here or really on here. Well, you can see South Korea here and over Japan on this particular flight chart. So it skirted South Korea, flew over Japan, or a part of Japan at least. And as I understand it, the Americans have been tracking it since the Aleutian Islands there in Alaska. So, of course, they probably gathered as much information and intel from it as they could as well by flying the F-22s with their sophisticated technology on there that can gather and compose information off of this. But if you guys have ever used your cell phone, you know that when you're out and about at your favorite coffee shop, or you're out, maybe you have a doctor's appointment or others, and they have Wi-Fi, you know as soon as you turn your phone on, the instant you turn on your Wi-Fi, it starts receiving signals. So all this balloon had to do was turn on whatever devices it's using to accumulate data. You know, people keep saying satellite, satellite, satellite. Well, when you can hover at 66,000 feet right over an area and loiter over that area, you can collect far more data than a satellite can. Not only that, you can pick up specific transmissions and data and information, access nodes, all sorts of data that is immediately transmitted back to China. So even with the destruction of this balloon, whatever data China wanted to try to collect or triangulate, it was able to do so. So nonetheless, guys, I want to thank you for your continued support, the likes, the shares, and the comments. And then, of course, appearing there on the screen, that would be the channel icon you guys can click on to subscribe to the channel, which helps support me. Thank you. As well as to get notifications to let you know when there's additional content here on the channel. And I'll see you guys in the next video.